Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Matt and John Make a Podcast. This is episode 80. We're now 80 episodes in this wonderful podcast of ours. We got a lot to talk about this week. A lot of football news. Free
hmm
agency is right around the corner. I believe we're about 2 or 3 weeks away. And Matt, I tell you, the quarterback carousel has been or like a rumor mill more specifically, and now um whether it's the shit that's going on with the Sean Watson, who reportedly today met with his new head coach and basically told him, hey, no matter no matter like no matter like what you say, I'm not coming back. He's
Right.
pretty firm in his stance. And now the newest rumored unhappy quarterback is like Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks, who reportedly is very frustrated, and he supposedly wants a more vital role in the decisions that are being actually made, concerning the offensive line, among other things. And there's already reports out there that supposedly his camp threw out feelers of a possible trade. There were I believe Adam Schefter, and I'm going to pull up what he said exactly. But man, man, I mean, I knew that it was going to be a wild off season, but it just seems like that everywhere you look, it's like something different. Because with him specifically, Russell Wilson, like a Deshaun Watson. He has full a full no trade clause. So basically, he controls if there is to be a deal wherever he wants to actually go. And reportedly, according to Adam Schefter, he would approve deals for either Dallas, New Orleans, like Vegas, or the Chicago Bears. Um, and reportedly the absolute the like the starting negotiation would be around like 3 first round picks, which sounds about right for a man of like his talent. Matt, kind of like initial thoughts on when you
Um.
heard
Well.
about this story here.
Apparently, according to ESPN sources, that Wilson is not demanding a trade,
No, no,
and then a trade is not likely to happen.
no.
But I'm starting to get like first I when you told me I didn't see it, so it was what afternoon, maybe around
Mm-hmm.
1:30 ish, give or take. uh, Here on Thursday. Um, it just seems a lot of these quarterbacks. I don't know how it was before. It just seemed like come on, like it comes off two ways for me, right? I'm trying to see two ways how they're um coming off not I don't not whiny but demanding how it's my way or the highway, right? And it I it's almost similar to me, like in a way, uh, with the NBA. It's like, oh, I want this player. If not, I'm going over here. Like
I
it just feels
I
like the
I feel like
some
a
pla
lot. I feel like a
some
lot.
players have too much
All
like
right.
um
I feel like
control, but
I
at the
think
same time, it's like, okay, it's quarterback is your position. I get the offense to score points, but like there's the defense, and the defense is like, well, I want this. I don't know.
it's more so a lot of these guys finally realize, hey, we finally have some leverage. and to where like no one really like used it. But now, I mean, and we're definitely seeing it with Deshaun. He's pretty steadfast. He is not playing another down for the Houston Texans. Although Houston has consistently said we are not trading him. It is not going to happen. But I feel like eventually Houston is going to have to, just because just the situation is just so ugly with them right now, and just it's gotten so personal um, to where that's, I think, eventually where this is going to go. But um,
Yeah.
I thought I had to sneeze there, and I didn't.
I
But
thought I thought you were done with your thought.
no, I
Um.
was about to sneeze. But yeah, I'm done with I'm done with my
Uh.
thought though.
Yeah. Um. I think it looks like the more I'm reading on this, as you were saying this, um, is that maybe the Russell Wilson thing, the severity of it might have been overblown more so than the Sean Watson, that because of him walking out of a
Yeah,
meeting that was
yeah.
last season out of frustration. Which, okay, if you're frustrated,
It's
you
yeah,
walk out of frustrating. Okay, um, not the not the craziest thing, because okay, apparently this came right after or soon after the loss of the Bills, 44-34.
okay. Yeah,
But
it's
I guess
just
the issue was resolved quickly.
well,
Uh,
he was just probably pissed off that they lost more than anything. Then
yeah, it says the incident occurred the week of Seattle's Thursday night game against the Cardinals in November. Seahawks had lost 2 straight games in 3 of 4, coinciding with the worst turnover stretch in Wilson's career. So I guess it's just frustrations boiling uh, to the surface. Um, I yeah, I guess it's just a little bit of frustration, and then now obviously somehow that comes out and everybody runs with it, and it's like, oh, Wilson wants out. Um,
yeah. Which pretty much, especially with social media, it doesn't take much for things to just explode, and that's pretty much what happened this afternoon.
yeah, and then I guess Wilson was, I guess, said publicly that he wanted to be involved in the search for Schottenheimer's replacement. And then I guess multiple sources have told ESPN that he was involved, and that uh, Waldron, whatever, however you say his name, was the one
Yeah,
he endorsed. So
yeah.
I think this might be a case of um, just blown out of proportion. Again, this was uh, article by ESPN, from what I'm reading, to give credit for that. Brady Henderson and Jeremy Fowler came out at, I guess, 1:50 this afternoon on Thursday. So give credit to them for reading that. A little bit of quotes there. Yeah, so I guess that is one of out of proportion, but Sean Watson, I don't think is. It's more
No,
definitive that he doesn't
that
like being there.
no. And
It's just a crappy situation if you're Houston.
yeah,
You're losing JJ. Most likely gonna lose Sean
Deshaun,
Watson.
who's right
You
in the
already
middle of his prime too. Like he's 25 years old, man. Like
you lost. You traded. Oh. Uh. The wide receiver?
oh
I'm slipping my mind.
like Hopkins, DeAndre
Yeah, I knew
Hopkins.
it was
Yeah,
Hopkins. For some reason, yeah. You traded Hopkins for a bag of peanuts, right? You just effed up that last year, and in the offseason before have just been effed up who does Houston have? Like, off the top of your head, all their big stars are leaving.
Well, they just there's so many issues. From I mean, like, where do you start? At? Their defense was terrible, and people who should on JJ Watt in his season last year, just look what he had around him. Like, it definitely isn't happy. But man, could you imagine JJ on the Steelers defense? Like, it's like with him, TJ, Cam, um, um, Alex Highsmith, and Devin Bush, like there's great players around him. Where in Houston there is not a soul, and that goes both on offense and on defense. Hell, Matt Watson, I think, had like 33 touchdowns and 7 picks, or 40 touchdowns and 7 picks or something, and had I think the highest completion percentage too, for a horrible offensive line, like average wide receivers, and just it speaks more to him and like how good he is, and it also speaks to
Yeah.
like you can't just only have a franchise quarterback. If you just have a franchise quarterback, it's not going to matter. Like you need other guys or around you to have a team
Well,
win consistently.
yeah. Look at I don't know this Homer example. Um, you had a couple years ago. You had Ben not had Ben doing, and you probably had Brown too, and probably coincide with Bell too. But the defense wasn't that great.
Oh, that's terrible.
But now, obviously, he lost his 2 star players on the offense, and the defense is better. And and your offense had some good players potential too. But let's look. The offensive line was wearing thin and getting old. Couldn't run, and Ben was far from perfect, but he wasn't the issue most of the time.
He was
Um,
far. He was far from
it was far from
from,
it
from
was far from the
the issue.
issue. I
It's
mean,
just like,
was he
and
10 out of 10? No,
people
but
put so much blame on him for those years. I'm like, guys, our defense was so bad. Like how we gave up 44 points to the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2017. Like it's
yeah.
like if they
Well,
had
and
even
then even this year too.
and even this year, man, like and our defense had way more talent on it. In grand, we've had a ton of guys hurt, but still way more talent than those defenses had. Um, so it just I mean like it goes to show you with these quarterbacks, like they are not satisfied in being losers. Like if they, and I feel like we're definitely are going to be seeing more of this, is if guys realize that they have like leverage, they aren't just going to be fine with just being okay. I'm just going to stay here for the rest of my career. I mean, and we're seeing that with Deshaun. I definitely feel he's going to force Houston's hand. It's a matter of like when and not if, especially when he is. I mean, like he has essentially said without coming out and saying it, I am not going to come to camp, not going to come to practice, and not going to play another down. I don't think any guy on this team would even blame him. Like it's just all of the things that you've been hearing coming out of his camp and everything that was going around. I mean, it's not a surprise, but
Right.
an, some other quarterback news, Matt, and that's the news of like Ben Roethlisberger. Speaking of him, so his agent um released a statement. I think it was on Tuesday, that like Ben is planning on coming back for the season, and him and Art Rooney had a like meeting in which they communicated with Ben. They are interested in bringing him back. However, they still need to have a salary cap situation solved here, because because as like Matt, that has been pretty much the only thing that is like holding him
And
back from coming back.
yeah, Hayward, um, I believe it was him, restructured his contract. Somebody restructured their
Yeah,
contract.
yeah,
I want
it
to
was
say it's
Cam,
Hayward.
and I would assume probably Stefan Tuitt is going to be coming up probably next. So they'll get a like few dollars shaved off there, but man, they need to do something about like Ben's salary, because I think even if they do something with his salary, the amount of free agents, and someone said, "Oh, this absolutely confirms with like Juju that he's definitely is coming back." I'm like, I don't think it really changes much of
I don't think it.
anything,
No, I don't think it confirms. I I don't see
especially
with
especially
structuring.
too.
I don't I know jack squat about
Well, like
restructuring.
currently they are 26. They are currently 26 million over the like current salary cap, and it was reported by Adam Schefter that the that the floor is going to be 180 million. Some teams they were hoping, or all the teams they were hoping, for the TV contracts to be like finalized, be 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 for the league year began, because there were some like reports that the salary cap would then go up as high as 198 million dollars, which that would have really helped out us there. But
Right.
with the salary cap being 180 million right now, I don't know how they're going to really get around this, and, and to possibly and to even think about re-signing Juju, or a like Bud. To me, a guy in the Hilton or Cam Sutton is way more realistic. But at the same time, too, they're probably are going to be making a ton of cash as well on the open market. So it's a lot of uncertainty, which is, and this has been a huge thing this offseason, is fans right now, as far as Ben coming back, are really right down the middle right now, man.
Yeah.
Just
Pretty. Yeah.
because I've never seen the Steelers fans so divided as they are right now. And man, like, I can understand on like both sides of the equation. I understand the people who want to who say, well, like, what other options are there? Fair, but I also understand as well, we're not a contending team. Like, this is pretty much is like Ben's swan song year. Like it's going to be, and I have said this before on the podcast. What Kobe's final year was in LA is pretty much what like Ben's final year is going to like be like. Now it also depends too, you know, what happens in the off season, like like who we keep, who we add, who we get in this year's NFL draft. But to me, there's just so much uncertainty. What are your thoughts on all of this here, Matt?
Yeah. On. Yeah. This season coming up is interesting because it is obviously probably not probably going to be Ben's last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it there's a lot riding on if they do sign him, he does come back, which at this point I think he does.
Yeah, I do too.
Um, it's very interesting. It all comes down to, again, like you said, to the draft, um, because who do they who do they take first? Do they build that offensive line? Do they draft his replacement?
Yeah,
Um,
and
available?
if
Do they
he
get another running back? There's all these questions going in on what they do. Um,
like this year is going to be so crazy because they could take a quarterback in the first round. They could go offensive line, as you said, Matt, or they can take a
I
like Najee Harris from Alabama, running back in the first round. So it's really
I
going to depend on all
I
that there.
I think if he does come back, they work it out in what happens in free agency. I think you should get a running back, offensive line,
Absolutely.
at least throughout the draft. I don't know what you do first round. I think out of those options, you
Yeah.
get the better choice,
Yeah.
um, and stuff. I think you help with that offensive line. You can also get a quarterback, depending who drops to you. Maybe not even in the first round.
I think it was Charlie Casserly had like Justin Fields projected 24 for the Steelers, and if he somehow fell to 24, man, I mean, our friend like Rhino, he would be doing freaking cartwheels at like his like large ass there, but just because he is such a huge Ohio State fan. But I mean, like because this man has been like projected to go as early as the like top six. I don't see how he's going to fall, but man, if he does, that would be insane
Right.
because then especially if like Ben is coming back, that's going to create a quarterback controversy as soon as camp opens because as the first sign that things do not go right, fans are going to be calling for
Oh,
Justin Fields.
it's gonna
Exactly.
be it's gonna suck.
It's going to be a pain in the ass. However, but I would like to see them like I mean in the first round, but whether it's running back, tight end, offensive tackle, center, whichever one of those. I just hope we do not take a freaking linebacker in the first round.
No, no
That's going to annoy the hell out of me.
You don't need um really a defense right now. Um, like again, especially with the sign, there's so many
Not
questions.
as like much as
Yeah, no,
as as the offense. Like
not
he
even
definitely
not even
inside.
close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say though, inside linebacker, outside linebacker, I'm like, yeah, we probably do like need someone. However, when you look at that offensive line, running back too. I mean, I love Connor, but the man he can't stay healthy,
Right.
and yeah, the offensive line wasn't great, but there were definitely holes there. He just couldn't hit them with a preciseness to like to like make work with like what he had. So it's just there's just a like a whole bunch of things, which is why I was content with him hanging them up, but like knowing Ben just being as competitive as he is, that's not the way that he wanted to like go out, even though there's just like so much turnover, whether it's like from the coaching staff, especially like a new offensive coordinator, new quarterback coach on top of that. Like, um, those were kind of the things why I was a little bit surprised that he was coming back, just because there is so much change, and what like Canada runs, especially if like you are a like Pitt fan and like you like recall his offense from 2016. Um, Ben doesn't exactly fit that, and that's kind of what I'm most interested to see is how Canada is going to have this offense work with like Ben at the helm there. You know.
Yeah, that's it's all gonna be just so many unknowns going into this season that you can't you can't predict anything with a reasonable confidence level of what's going to happen. Will will they be average next year? Will they surprise and be very decent next year? I,
and
I don't know.
speaking of being unpredictable, Matt, episode 7 of WandaVision.
The transition.
Wow. I will say though, I kind of had a feeling that we were going to get an Agatha Harkless. I think that's her last name there. Is
Let me
like
look up. Yeah.
pretty much she was controlling everything. Which you definitely had a feeling that someone was pulling strings.
Yeah, especially with Pietro being there and just stuff
Yeah, yeah.
happening and subtle clues. Like, so the
Mhm.
fan theories were correct. And speaking
And
of that, and damn it, she killed Sparky, that bitch.
yeah, that bitch. And
Um,
I definitely think too, Matt. She isn't the like true person pulling all of those strings. I definitely feel like she's taking orders from someone, whether it be which I think and is going to be directly being pulled into with like Doctor Strange there, which I will like. Are you expecting him? Are you expecting Doctor Strange to be on the finale at this point?
based on what Paul Bettany, if that's what you call it, say his name, says, it's talked about like a big, like reveal, big person, big name. He says that it's not him and it's an actor that he wanted to work with but hasn't yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that is him with smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
But according to him, it's not Doctor Strange, and it's somebody else. It's a different character, um, which are a new character being introduced. I think that's where he was going. So that's, if that's true, that's interesting. Because we already got, the X-Men Pietro. I don't know what
Monica
character.
and like Monica is slowly is getting her powers too. As we saw, she entered
Yeah,
back in the spear there. So like she and like I mean like I really like the look with the blue eyes there. That was pretty
yeah.
damn cool.
I think it's more uh it
Captain
looked more
Marvel.
like her
Yeah,
costume, no, her costume in the
yeah,
comics with the
yeah,
black
yeah,
and
yeah,
white. I'm seeing a
yeah,
picture right now.
yeah.
I like that.
It
I
looks really
wanted to,
cool.
yeah.
It looks really
Um,
really cool.
it's I like when she crosses into the barrier. There's voices of which some, at least I heard it back again, and I didn't hear all these specific people, but apparently, her mom, Maria, her as a child, Nick Fury, I guess had a line. Um, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers had a
Hmm.
line. So they had all this, playing when she got converted and got her powers, or at least the start of her powers,
Yeah.
um, in there. So I thought that was like really cool, like some of those Easter eggs. Um, what else here? Another stuff that good question. Because I'm using this article from CNET to like refresh my memory because it's always a week. I always when we do these like a week after, I forget all these subtle details. Where's Tommy and Billy? Where's the kids? I obviously where Agatha had to do something with them, so I'm interested to see what happens to them. Um,
Also
I want
to
to know.
the whole interaction with like Vision and like Darcy and how they're trying to like navigate their way through and every single obstacle is being put in their
I
way. So definitely
yeah. So and to your point you were making, about somebody else being ultimately in charge.
which I definitely think it is
The
the case.
CNET here says there are a few hints. Quote: There are a few hints that there's another force at work, including a super prominent cicada on the curtain in Agatha's living room. It's not a million miles from a fly, a form taken by Mephisto in his first chronological comics appearance. They include here Agatha saying, I believe in this episode, Rolf says I supercode things, referring to her unseen husband, in suggesting he's worse than she is. So maybe we get the introduction of Mephisto at some point in this episode, probably maybe near the end, and to lead into.
I definitely think something big is going to happen, which is typically how all like Marvel shows and the season finale.
We're gonna watch, and it's gonna have the please stand by, and we're gonna be like, we gotta wait till 2022.
I'm definitely going to be absolutely making sure that I stay to the very end of this time, because as I did last week, it was like, as soon as the credits hit, I just shut off because I'm like, okay,
there isn't one, and they screwed with us.
Right.
I'm also interested to see Monica and Pietro's interaction again with that post-credit scene. Because I'm assuming Pietro is still, as we saw during it was Agatha all along, the music video that everybody's raving about. That she's the one that introduced, and he's under her control, if you will.
Right.
And I'm presuming.
He's absolutely.
And presuming that they don't know that Monica has powers now, so that I can see maybe a nice little fight scene here, if that's possible. That'd be pretty cool to see how well she does. Any other voices barrier? I like another thing that Darcy, the played by Kat Devins or whatever, I forget her last name. Pretty much in that circus van, pretty much just explained everything to Vision. Like how he died, what happened.
Because as like we know, he didn't have any like memories, and something else I found interesting too was like, I think the reason why like Wanda took him from Sword, because I think they were trying to like create like a Vision like technology or something like that. And I think one like Vision's wishes was to not recreate him or like bring him back or anything. And they kind of hinted that like that's kind of what set her off, and she found out about. They haven't really explained fully why she did what she did, because I believe that this happened right after Endgame, right? It was like basically right
creating Westview. Yeah, I think because I think this is happening pretty much
right after like
weeks. Several weeks. I think this takes place a couple weeks, or very, very shortly after. So like the whole Vision dying is, and then she got blipped and came back.
And lastly,
right,
and what
she got blipped.
And what's still crazy to me is the actor playing her is the older sister of Mary Kate and like Ashley Olsen. I was like, oh my god!
I knew that. No, I knew. Yeah, I knew that.
I had no idea. I was like, wow. Like, I mean, like,
get with the times, man.
Like, Jesus Christ! I mean,
but you can't. You can't
tell.
Well, you can see the resemblance, but when I first got
unless someone actually told you, I don't think you would have been able to actually tell you.
The other interesting thing was the Nexus ad, um,
Yeah, I remember that too.
um, the antidepressant Nexus. Because I think it says here, Age of Ultron, Tony Stark hacks into the Nexus Internet Hub to discover that Jarvis uh, scattered his consciousness across the web. So there's a connection there. Because in the comics, it says the Nexus is a cross-dimensional gateway that provides a pathway to various realities, linking it it says here, antidepressant, that the antidepressant fits with Wanda's attempt to create her own reality, uh, and to escape, everything. Um, so like they're just throwing hits of either reality or multiple realities. So that is what it says here. I missed this because also in the comics, Wanda is a Nexus being, something whose powers can affect probability and change the flow of time. Such people are monitored by the Time Variance Authority, a group that will show up in the upcoming Loki show, apparently. So there's a lot of,
Yeah, a
like
lot
with the
of
movies, a
moving
lot
parts
of
here.
moving parts. So it's very interesting. I can't wait till tomorrow. Like, there's rumors if the runtime being like 47 minutes, that's
Yeah,
including
it's like
credits.
47 minutes. Yeah.
So the credits themselves take 7 minutes. So who knows if that's right? So I can't wait. Like, just the anticipation is just off the charts. Just to see, because when you wake up and you check the Twitter trends, it's going to be trending number one. I don't know why I keep checking to see if it's trending, because I know it is, but it's just a habit. And then they always have like WandaVision trending, and then right underneath the little topics, and that's how like spoiled Pietro for me. Not necessarily the X-Men character. So Pietro being there wasn't as surprising in general, but like the character was. Once I figure out who it was, because I forgot the X-Men character, but that's besides the point. So
All
do
right.
not look
Yeah.
on Twitter. Yes, it's going to be trending. There's no way it's not going to be trending. It's going to be number one at like 7 o'clock in the morning. You have all the East Coast, West Coast people at midnight, their time watching it,
Must be
and
nice.
then yes, because if it was midnight here, I would be
I
definitely be
would
watching it.
watch. Yeah, I would too. But
I only watched the
I'm not.
three.
Yeah,
I only watched
absolutely.
the 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. episode once because I was up. Yeah, for some reason, I
For
only
sure.
watched that. But like, it's not worth it at 3 a.m. Our time. But yes, I cannot wait. Did I say that before? I can't wait.
Yeah. It's well, and Matt, speaking of can't wait, you were sounded very excited about the like Paramount Plus
Uh,
news that came
uh
out. Did you want to
yes.
discuss that a little bit?
I don't know about excited. I don't know. It depends. But there was more news and shows that came out. They released some stuff. Just general information. I think more than we knew. So of course Paramount Plus. We saw that at Super Bowl. It's pretty much a revamped, an overall CBS All Access and everything. I think Viacom and all that. Goes live in what, next week or so, March 4th. It is $10 a month for ad free. They're gonna release a cheaper ad supported model, I guess, in June. I don't know why late for some reason, for $4.99. I'll get to that in a minute. So it's going to include original. It's going to have live news, live sports content, and then obviously on demand shows and movies with original shows and past episodes from channels like CBS, MTV, BET, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, the Paramount Network, and then movies from Paramount Pictures as well. Um, what I saw yesterday, there's 36 original series are going to debut this year. And among those, I guess they're bringing back the sitcom Frasier.
Yeah,
That's coming
yeah,
back.
I did see that.
Uh, I guess Kelsey Grammer's the only one, at least now confirmed. They're bringing a CG animated like update of the Rugrats, which people our age, um,
Yeah,
uh,
brother.
or could be excited for. So that's
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That
Um,
I saw. I think I saw a few pictures of that. It looked weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
but we'll see. We could get
yeah,
used to it.
yeah.
There's a new studio dedicated to if you're an anime fan, Avatar: The Last Airbender concept there. Um, they're gonna stream not directly as quickly as like HBO Max does, but some big screen movies from Paramount Pictures about a month and a half after they hit theater. So it's not going to be directly.
Right.
So this is much better news for theaters if you run
Mhm.
a theater company.
Yeah.
So movies like A Quiet Place 2 will come out in November. Mission
Mm.
Impossible 7 will be streamed in January. I think there's other movies. I'll get to that as I'm just scrolling through this CNET article. Like I said, the $10 a month, or probably $9.99, won't be the only choice. I guess in June, I don't see the reason why this is delayed to June, but a $5 a month base tier for $4.99 with ads is there, but limits what you can watch. And this is a $1 discount if you subscribe to CBS All Access. That's on now. That's $1 cheaper. Um, I guess you're not going to have the live stream of the CBS network because with it you can, if you pay without the $10, you can watch like just CBS there. Um, I guess you're going to get ads during shows and movies you watch on demand. Again, you're not going to get the live CBS network. Um, you can watch NFL games, but you're not going to be able to watch all the live sports that they'll have on there. Um, so yeah, this just adds to. We'll get to that once we finish talking. So again, March 4th again in the States, Europe and any Nordic countries on the 25th. There. Uh, bu- 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 let's see here. Scrolling through here. Okay, nothing there. Okay, compared to other prices of other shows, just for comparison. So ad support options. So Hulu is $6 a month with ads, $12 a month ad free. Peacock has a free limited tier. You can pay to unlock the full things, but the premium Peacock membership is the premium Peacock membership is $5 a month with advertising. The ad free is $10 a month. The others that are have no ads, you have Netflix. The cheapest tier is $9. The popular plan is $14. Apple TV is $5 a month. Disney Plus is $7, going up to $8 next month apparently. HBO Max is $15 a month, which is the most expensive, but none of them have ads. Your typical devices are going to stream it: Apple TV, your Android TVs and tablets, Apple phones and tablets, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, your PlayStation 4s, your Xboxes, your Samsung TVs, Vizio, LGs, Roku, Xfinity is going to have it. So pretty much everything that you've had, you can stream. Okay, stuff that's going to be on it, including to the shows. I said before. The Smithsonian's channel too. I think it's gonna be included there. I just see there. I think it's gonna debut with the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. So, haha, there you go. Yeah. So, like I said, the movie from Paramount Pictures will be released, they say, around 35 to 45 days after they premiere in theaters. Or other Paramount flicks, they say here, movies will hit the service as soon as 90 days after they land in cinemas. So movies such as, I say, Quiet Place 2, Mission Impossible 7, kids movie like Paw Patrol, the movie, will land again 45 days. So, like I said, November 1st for Quiet Place 2, Mission Impossible 7, the 3rd of January, so into next year. Top Gun Maverick will arrive. That's be available for streaming in 2022. Again, that's the longer window. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Transformers 7, Dungeons and Dragons, Scream, and Snake Eyes I have listed here. Will be on Paramount Plus after their 4th theatrical release. Even in some cases, after they've gone through the home viewing sales and rentals and paying TV networks like Epix. So, I mean, that's only downside. Like HBO Max, you saw Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas, like that day. Matrix 4 when it comes out that day. So, and then beginning late spring, you can see, I guess it's going to stream all the franchise. I'm assuming here all the movies of like the James Bond movies, the Hunger Games. It says here Addams Family in the Avengers. So there's going to be stuff there. It says MGM's new movies will be available on Paramount Plus after their full theatrical releases in a window of time when they're exclusive to Epix, like it said before. That includes movies like, I can't believe this is an actual movie, House of Gucci, Creed 3, and the new James Bond film, No Time to Die. Some original shows here, just to go through, see if anything catches your fancy here. Criminal Minds. Okay, this is dramas here, scripted dramas. A new scripted series is coming back. I guess a 10-episode like mini series. Flashdance. Young woman struggles to make her mark in the ballet world. Blah blah blah. One of those.
Yeah.
Halo, based on the Xbox franchise, that's coming out. Landman, set in the proverbial boomtowns of West Texas. Landman is a modern day tale of fortune seeking in the world of oil rigs. I guess it's there. Love story, obviously a love story from the producers of Gossip Girl, the OC, and look, so that type of thing. Mayor of Kingstown. It's basically tackling themes of systematic racism, corruption, inequality, all that stuff. Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, a new Star Trek series, a kids series for Star Trek. That's coming later. The Telling Job. It is the grandchildren of the legendary Charlie Croker inherit his old safety deposit box. The quest for the infamous Italian bullying is reignited. So that's there. A Man Who Fell to Earth. It's based on the iconic film of the same name, or a novel of the same name, excuse me. The Offer, I guess it's a little mini documentary about the making of The Godfather, 10-episode series there.
I cannot wait for that, by the way. Since someone here has yet to see a single Godfather movie, gee, I wonder who that could be, huh?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
The Parallax View, scripted series based on, I guess, the film Y 1883. This, I don't know what seems interesting to me. Follows the Dalton family as they embark on a journey west through the Great Plains toward the last untamed spots of America. A stark retelling of Western expansion. So I don't know. That seems interesting to me. And then Yellowstone spinoff, I guess, of the show. Kids and family here. You get Avatar. You get a new studio. There's new live action Dora the Explorer. There we go. Designed for an older audience of kids age 6 to 11. Okay, I don't know how that's old. I guess older from 3 to 6. A new iCarly series. Camp Coral, SpongeBob's Under Years. Spinoff of SpongeBob, first one. Rugrats, a new CGI animation. Star Trek Prodigy, Star Trek series for first ever Star Trek series for kids and a family audience. A live action take on Fairly Odd Parents. So I don't know how that's gonna freaking work. And other series included as Wild Brains Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Boat Rockers, New Danger Mouse, new editions of Lassie, George of the Jungle, Mr. Magoo. There you go. Reality shows. Some people might love this who love Big Brother. Big Brother live feeds. You can watch all the action that happens in the Big Brother house. Dating naked. The most vulnerable social experiment returns to bring dating back to its most honest, unguarded, and naked form. So you dated naked. Ink Master, a tattoo competition show. Love Island on Paramount Plus. Guess extension of the popular CBS reality series takes the subscribers. I guess love on an island. Queen of the Universe, about drag queens. Road Rules. These Strangers Been Banned. I don't even know. RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. The Challenge All Stars. In the Real World, Homecoming, New York. So there's that. Comedy, Frasier's coming back. A spinoff of, or I guess a prequel of Grease, The Rise of the Pink Ladies. Their Guilty Party, a dark comedy starring Kate Beckinsale as a discredited journalist who finds herself in over her head when she latches onto the story of a young mother sentenced to life in jail for murdering her husband. Oh, okay. Inside Amy Schumer. Reno 911, The Hunt for Kuadon. Whatever that organization is that everybody's talking about. So that should be interesting. The Game, popular BET sitcom returns. The Harper House, animated family comedy. The Weekly Show featuring or with Trevor Noah. That's a working title. There's another show called The Younger. Apparently there's a Beavis and Butthead movie, untitled Beavis and Butthead movie coming, and a Workaholics movie. Some music shows, Behind the Music, documentary series returns, From Cradle to Stage, 6-part unscripted series from Dave Grohl. So it's based on his mother, inspired by his mother, and based on her book From Cradle to Stage. Unplugged from MTV. Yo, MTV Raps is another series that's coming back, I guess. And then all the CBS All Access movies or TV shows like Star Trek Discovery and The Good Fight and all that are coming back. Sports, they're going to stream more. It says here 1,000 live sporting events per year, including the NFL and CBS, the Masters, the NCAA tournament, in PGA Tour, SEC, PGA Championship, and all these different soccer leagues should be streamed. And then you're going to have some news, live streaming of the CBSN network, plus a 60-minute plus new version of 60 Minutes and 48 Hours original, The Lie Detector, and then other documentaries they have here. So there's some stuff here coming in, and it just adds to the another streaming service that exists. Um, a big takeaway for me is, at least for us, I can say, is the movies are not going to be day and date with the theater release. So
No.
again, you would have to go to a theater or wait 45, 35, 45 days, even up to 90 days in some cases, to be able to stream. I mean, if you're still down to go into theaters now, given, all the circumstances, you could still do that with some movies. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out because, I don't know, like I said, if you're a theater company or run a theater, work at a theater, that's kind of good news that it's not just streamed right away, unlike HBO Max. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens, like which way wins out. Let's say when everything gets back to normal, which way wins out? Do you go the HBO Max way, or you go the Paramount Plus way, where you can watch in the theaters, and then when it comes out for home release, depending on the movies, you can just stream it there, or do you wait till after it goes through the whole home release thing stage and the paid TV networks, basically pay per view thing. Um,
Basically, I think it depends how well that HBO Max does with these early
um,
releases because Wonder Woman, I'm pretty sure did a pretty good with that there,
I
and especially in the current pandemic, that's probably the best option.
yeah, I think I'll go with next year. We'll go more Paramount. I say we go on hybrid. I say we go more Paramount, and I can see a hybrid in terms of HBO having to make you pay the same day, additional cost to make you see day and date, as opposed to either go to the theater for, I don't know, $12 minus concessions, or you pay. I'll say it'd be higher than that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a number, $19.99 to see it from the comfort of your home. Um, I could see a hybrid. They start charging you and not get free, and they could come out and say, well, it was during the pandemic. We wanted to, people were so iffy about going to theaters and all that stuff. Now we're gonna change it to help the theater business. I can see them coming out and saying that. Um, so I'll go more Paramount Plus in the near future, with maybe in a hybrid of you got to pay extra to see a day the same day. I don't know. That's what
Let's
I'm
see.
going with that.
Well, it's Paul White, Matt. Paul White,
Yes.
it, the formerly of the Big Show in the WWE, who has been with the company since 1999, signs a long-term deal with All Elite Wrestling. Words I never thought I would ever spew this year, last year, last month, whatever. I
Five
don't
years
know,
from now.
5 years from now, this caught me so off guard. Like I
No,
had
yeah,
to I thought for certain this was a freaking troll, a meme, something. No, and then I see
because
Tony Khan. I'm like,
you sent me that text like Big Show Day is in AEW, whatever, and I went, what? It's like there's no way. And then I looked, I went, son of a bitch.
son of a bitch.
I didn't even know his contract was up.
I don't think anyone did, and according to the Observer, pretty much his contract quietly expired. But supposedly, him and WWE were continuously negotiating. but apparently show wasn't happy with the dollars that
I'm
they were offering, and
I'm
supposedly
interested if it was a length of with the dollars, a length of time too.
right.
And I mean, the dollars. That's true. They probably WWE's probably thinking, okay, obviously Big Show's probably wanting more money than them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if I'm WWE, if I take this as a business thing, like, what does he deserve it for all the years? Sure, but
He's
why
yeah,
would you? It's not like he was going to be used a lot. So if you're
no,
taking from a business perspective and their recent business practices, why would you
yeah.
pay more for him, right? If you're not going to be featured, if you're looking at it that way, um,
Whereas
I don't know how far apart.
AEW, yeah, whereas they like he's gonna be like lead a like a lead commentary
If
on a like new show that he's doing with Tony Schiavone. So you can kind of see why they would offer him a little bit more,
if
but yeah,
yeah, I mean,
go ahead, man.
if they keep him mostly in a commentary role with
Which they
limited
will,
action,
which they
then
will.
it's fine. Like it's
I
fine.
think I think he's gonna be more so vital for that company as a like a mentor more than anything for guys
Oh yeah,
such.
you can't. Oh yeah, you
I don't
can't.
think you can
And
put I
hopefully he helps the big man like an Archer, a Cage, a um
um a like a Hobbs
Hobbs, like the big man. I think
yeah
his advice is invaluable.
I'm like Wardlow
Um,
too.
yeah, Wardlow. I think hopefully it helps. And he can make some changes for the better, whatever they are. Um, so yeah, I think it's fine. I
And I
think
tell you, the main thing I'm excited for, Shaq versus Paul White, baby. It's
you're
happening.
speaking into it.
It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be great because I'm gonna troll you to no end with this just
I'm
because
gonna
I
troll
can.
myself. I'll troll myself. I'll be right there with you.
Between that
I'm
and we're
not.
gonna
I'm.
have between that and we're gonna have a stare down between him and Marcos Stun. It's gonna be hilarious, and Cornette's gonna it's gonna
If he.
blow a freaking
Oh.
blood vessel.
Oh God. Oh God. He already went off about Tully Blanchard. He goes, if he sells for him, I'm done with Tully. My relationship's done basically. If he sells one thing for him, he's done. He's a less
Yeah.
of a man. He's done. His legacy is done for me. And I kind of agree. If Tully should not sell any move. If he's oh my god, I can't. If it happens, I can't wait for it to happen. Because the you know what? I don't want to see it because it's Marco stunt. But if it does, I just know an epic rant from Cornette, and the part of me wants to see the world burn. That part of me
Yeah,
just I just want to see
but
the worst.
I do think he is going to be on Dynamite on Wednesday. I am fully expecting him and Shaq to have some sort of interaction
Oh God.
there, and would not surprise me at all if they have a match at Double or like nothing, especially if they are going back into Vegas, which
You know what?
fingers crossed that
The sad
happens.
thing is the
Mhm.
build for that is already better than whatever the hell the build was for this match between Shaq and Cody and all that.
Not
This is
exactly
already
saying which. I
no.
will say though, and and we got into this on the podcast last night. Red Velvet to me is for as little as I've seen
What
her
podcast?
since we are dropping this on Saturday, man. We had our professional wrestling
Oh,
podcast
there we
last
go.
night.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. What? I
Work
didn't
with me,
say that.
pal.
Work with it. I was thrown off. Like you said last. Yeah, you said last night. I'm living in the present, John.
Apparently so. As I said, Red Velvet, there's definitely something there that you can
Yes,
really
I did
see
agree.
with her. I would hope so. She's pretty damn good. But
Well, you don't have to hope. I said it last night, John. Work with.
God damn it. So but yeah, I mean the overall build has been horrible, but I definitely
Inconsistent.
think and very inconsistent. But I do think a Big Show and Shaq feud that's actually built, which they really never got the chance to, and it never like really made any sense. And definitely since AEW is on TNT, um, and in the NBA there, it's gonna happen. And I think it makes way too much sense, and
I
people
think.
are going to be
Go
so
ahead.
mad, and people are going to be so mad about it. And I'm like, guys, there's very few times you're going to be able to get some of those other fans to tune into your freaking product.
I
Like,
think.
just take that
Yeah.
chance.
I think. Th- I think what they should do. I think if they said Shaq is going to be on, well, the match is next week.
Yep, yep.
I think what they should do at the very least, if they are gonna do this match, if they plan on doing it, I I don't have I don't think you have it soon. I think you have a tease in terms of Big Show and Shaq just look at each other. That's it. You
Well,
just
the
look,
thing
you
is though
tease it, and you
too.
do it down the line.
Well, I mean, double or nothing. It's just basically 3 months from now. So wouldn't you think that is like more than enough time to
Yeah,
really
but
build
at the
something
same,
up
I'm
there
feeling
too?
like, do I want to see another Shaq? Like my
Yes,
internal guy,
yes,
do I
you
want to see
do,
another Shaq
and
match?
especially when it's Paul White against Shaquille O'Neal, two giants. You know you want to see him at. I can sense it. You want to see the train wreck.
Then then if this is Saturday, my feelings must have changed in 2 days because I don't feel it now on Thursday. So maybe you
Okay.
can tell the future.
Yeah. But um, I will say though, I am very interested to see how different he's going to come off here. I'm also interested to see too how is he going to be on commentary. He obviously has a great personality. He can really talk. I'm just I wonder how that's going to transition
I
um with them Tony
I
there. You know.
I think he'll be good. I think you got to give it a couple episodes
Yeah, I agree.
for it to gel. Um, I think he could be good. I was just like, my question here is, what is this show? This third show that apparently is not the second show, the new
No.
show. So
So
it's another
basically,
dark. What's the
so
difference between this and dark?
well, and that is a question that everyone has here, because on Tuesdays for Dark, that show was essentially 2.5, sometimes almost 3 hours long, and
Yes.
I think this is pretty much them cutting that in half,
Like
essentially.
the description was like the current and upcoming stars. I'm like, well, that's dark.
Yeah,
I was like, tell me
I feel
show me the
yeah,
difference.
right. And I definitely feel like that they need to do something to have that show separate from Dark. Like honestly, I would like this show to be more of a like a B show. Like they're um like like like
Or
Dynamite.
SmackDown.
Yeah, no, Dynamite is SmackDown because clearly SmackDown is a way better show.
Okay, well,
And
okay. We're
but
fair, but I'm talking about Raw came first and then SmackDown
yeah,
came.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah. That's kind of how I would do it, especially too. And I've been hearing people say this, and people are already saying, "Oh, but there's already too much TV." I'm like, absolutely not. Have you seen their freaking roster? There isn't enough TV time for everyone here. This
I
company absolutely needs more more
I don't know. I
TV
when I
time. You
first
know.
saw it, I went another show. I think well, it depends on how long it is because it's at
It's
7 o'clock
like
on a
1 hour.
Monday.
It's a 1 hour show.
But
One
that's
hour show.
better. As long as Dark is not another 2-3 hours, like that
No.
was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that was so long, but and Tony Khan also said too they're going to be having another show coming on TNT. So we'll probably find that out
Then
soon.
that's then to me then that's overkill because we have another show. Then what are you going to do with this show and then Dark?
Well, I mean, like pretty much how I count like both like Revelation and Dark is pretty much what NXT is. It's basically
But
the
then
developmental system.
why do you have the other?
Whereas, whereas like when that other show comes, that I think is going to be they're a NAB show, but it also depends too how long that show is as well.
Then I
So
would get rid of. Then you have four. I would get rid of Dark because then
yeah,
what's the point of having to? I don't. To me, it doesn't make sense. I think it is too
well
much
it
because you have a
well
show
it
Monday. We're gonna have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
well like you could say the same thing about too about like NXT and now their Evolve show, but you also need a lot of these guys who aren't who aren't T, TV
I,
ready. You need those guys to get some
yeah,
form of like reps them
there's
too,
Dark.
huh?
You
Well,
have
yeah.
Dark, and you have this new one. I think 3 shows is plenty. I mean, they have a talent, but how much fucking talent do they have?
Like 90 wrestlers, according to like Sean Ross said.
I think after a
So
while it gets too much.
all right, but yeah, we shall see how all that goes. So
I think like for
well,
wrestling, you got Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Right now it's three. I think it's fine. Minus main event, blah 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 blah, and all that stuff. Yeah, NXT UK for the UK fan. That's to me that's an exception rather than the rule. Um, and then you have the NXT thing because it's four. It's on par, but I think you get. We're gonna see what it is first before I pass judgment. But I think too much is
yeah.
too much. We talk about overexposure in WWE, too much content.
Well, you could also say
Roll.
though as well, the more content that they have, the more likely chance that like TNT is going to give them
Well,
some more
no, it's
cash
business. It's
when yeah,
business rise on there, and yeah, everybody
because
throws out
hell
content.
because
But
the main reason why WWE had that giant Peacock deal was because of their content.
well,
Just
with the network, they got the
exactly,
network, which
exactly.
the AEW doesn't have a network yet.
Obviously, yeah,
They,
but
that's down the line.
yes, for certain.
But
So
we'll see what happens. But
yeah,
I was initially put off of another third show that isn't the third show.
yeah.
That
So
was
all right, guys, that's going to pretty much do it for this week. We thank you for tuning in. We also thank you for tuning in to our professional wrestling live stream last night, just covering everything professional wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, um, AEW, and NXT. And yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at MJ Make a Podcast. Matt and I are constantly over there, whether for anything wrestling and MMA as well. And I'll be tweeting along for that on tonight's card, which is Rosenstruck versus Sergey Gunn. I think is the main event of that one. So we'll see how that goes. So for like Matt and for John, we shall see you guys next week. Have a good one.